Hi guys, I'm Kay. I'm the Reiki teacher here in Glastonbury in Somerset in the UK, and today I wanted to talk to you about my first two shamanic approach to Reiki courses that I created quite a number of years ago now. I've made another video about the Reiki sound healing, and that is very shamanic in its approach. It's really kind of part of this whole thing. It is not like Reiki drum or Kotodama chanting as you might have come across it before. I'm always working with these concepts and these tools in a shamanic way. I've been practicing Reiki and shamanic healing within a sort of broad contemporary shamanic framework for the same amount of time. I started in 2004 working with both. The shamanic approach to Reiki courses, these first two, the Reiki block removal and the Reiki cord cutting, I created and first started offering in 2009, and they have been updated over the years. They do change as your experience grows and through working with the different groups, but they're based on healing concepts, healing tools and modalities that are central to contemporary shamanism and shamanic healing as it's practiced today in Europe and in other places in the world, which is to say that it's largely drawn from the ideas that are inherent in core shamanism, which are aspects of shamanic healing and shamanic philosophy that are found. You know, shamanism existed in every continent, or this is everybody's heritage. It's everybody's right to work in this way. So we are not working within a particular system or within the religious or spiritual beliefs of particular countries or tribes or groups. I believe that shamanism should be practiced within what we ourselves have learned and on the land that we are living on. As Reiki practitioners, we're not, we're drawing from Japanese systems, but we're working in a way that's relevant to our own lives. And that's always been my approach to shamanic healing as well. Block removal, quite often in shamanic technique, is referred to as extraction. And cord cutting has lots of different forms, and it shows up in all different ways in energy healing and shamanic healing in all kinds of different traditions. And what they both are is an understanding of our physical bodies and our energy bodies, where those things meet, the physical and the energetic, and also how our bodies as individual identities, how we as people who move through the world are connected with and affected by the world as we move through it, right? So they're two different courses, and they look at this idea of being impacted by our experience in slightly different ways. The block removal talks about how things get kind of stuck within our bodies. They can cause us problems by perhaps causing tension or stiffness or pain within the body. We also have residual things stuck in our bodies from things like illnesses or injury. And also sometimes through our dealings with other people, sometimes it's emotional or energetic. We pick things up. A lot of us that are drawn to a healing path are quite sort of absorbent. And so that can kind of happen, that we pick things up and things get stuck. I'm very keen that people don't think about this as in terms of there's a bad energy that's got stuck in my body. It's really not as simple as that. Energy is supposed to move, it's supposed to flow through the body. As Reiki people, we know that. We work with that when we work with our clients and when we do our own meditations. It's all about how the energy moves. So what we do in shamanic block removal that we don't really touch on an approach in Reiki is perceiving exactly where those things in the body are. And there's a skill to that. Not everything is supposed to be moved. Not everything needs to be moved in the way that we think. And sometimes there's other work that needs to be done first. It's about redressing the balance within the body, but working with something that's perhaps a little deeper, a little more stuck, perhaps more emotional, perhaps more physical. Working with it in a way that really allows us to sort of manipulate energy a bit more deliberately. And when we do that, we must have skill and understanding of what we're doing. We must know how to move that from the body without causing harm, without causing damage, and without interfering in a way that takes us out of that alignment with the highest good. And that kind of work can be intrusive, it can be harsh on the body and on the emotions. So I learned how to do this in various forms over the years as a shamanic practitioner, but what I've found is there's no better energy source to work with that kind of deep work, that kind of difficult work. There's no better energy to use than Reiki. Reiki naturally and inherently gets things moving. It is sort of self-regulating in a way. It helps us kind of soothe the body and heal it. It helps us to integrate healing better than any other energy source that I know. People who are drawn to really doing deep healing work with Reiki are very well set up for this kind of elevation into a shamanic practice where we become much clearer in terms of our perception of the energy body. And with cord cutting, it's a slightly different approach. This looks at the idea of the web of weird, the belief in so many schools of shamanism from around the world that everything is connected and every act that we do creates a connection between us and the world and other people that are in our world. Sometimes we get entangled in things and it can stop us from moving forward in our lives. That can be quite emotional work to look at and deal with. We can cut those connections, and there's lots of different ways to do that. The shamanic training that I got many years ago that showed me how to do it really gave me an understanding that we had to work compassionately. Again, what is a better way to work with compassion and highest good and stepping away from judgment and just detaching from the outcome a little bit while doing skilled and deliberate energy work? What better source to work with than Reiki for that? And so I began combining that work and found that the emotional fallout for the clients was, I don't know, it was a softer landing, I guess. And we can give that understanding of what's been happening emotionally and psychologically, but still very much working within our lane as energy workers rather than as, psychotherapists. It's something that we can place within an understanding of the world as being primarily composed of energy rather than just thoughts, feelings, and physical experiences. So these two courses, I offer them both as 1-day courses. They're for Reiki 2 and above. I do work with the symbols, and you really need to have put your hands on some people, not just been to a couple of workshops. This is for people who've really started to develop their work. And when we come to do the work, people find, oh wait, I've felt things like this in the body before. I've noticed stuff like this before. And you can kind of give it a framework and really come into an understanding of it. Really learn how to work skillfully and kindly and safely, holding space for people to do that deeper energy work without kind of shying away from going deeper and removing these old blocks, removing these old entanglements, allowing our clients to move forward in freedom and allowing ourselves to be free of things from our past as well. I have a big focus, as I do on all the courses, to work with self-healing techniques and meditations that really allow us to understand ourselves and our own place on the healing path better. We use shamanic techniques for this. We perceive the energy body directly. We do shamanic healing, shamanic journey work, where I lead everybody on journeys to gain greater understanding and insight by using Reiki drumming. And we just get to play around with it a little bit more. It's very practical, but still deeply affecting. I've never had anyone come in all these years on the block removal or the cord cutting courses who haven't really experienced a deep shift for themselves, as well as gained a greater understanding of the energy body and how to hold our clients more safely through deeper energy work. So those are the two main shamanic approach to Reiki courses, the Reiki block removal and the Reiki cord cutting. They're both really powerful. They're both real passions of mine. I love to combine these ways of working, and I just think that Reiki people are so perfectly set up to do this kind of work. So if you would like to go deeper with your understanding of client work and your understanding of the world within a shamanic construct and of the energy body itself, then I would really love to have you along on one of these courses. If you look below, there'll be links down to where you can book and upcoming dates. And if you have any questions, feel free to get in touch and ask. I'm always happy to clarify any of these weird concepts before you arrive. On the course, we do a lot of practical work and a lot of sharing as well. These are very healing days, and then you get to take away your audio recordings to help you keep going with the work, and some very comprehensive notes so that you're able to study up again afterwards and keep going so that you can be more powerful, more effective healers in the world. I hope to see you on one of the Shamanic Approach to Reiki courses soon.